Moms of Reddit, what's something you know about your kid, that they don't think you know about them? My 3-year-old son wipes his boogers on the walls. He denies it's him. I've seen him do it. Since Christmas my almost 6-year-old daughter has been leaving stones from the garden in front of my bedroom door. She's been telling me it's the stone fairy. I can hear my 4-year-old son walking down the hall when he's supposed to be in bed because he walks like a dinosaur. My 19-year-old son thinks I don't know he smokes pot. Child please, you cannot fool the master. When it's bedtime my daughter stays up playing with toys. If she didn't talk to them I probably wouldn't know. As long as she's not ratty the following day I don't really mind. My son doesn't eat the sandwiches I make him for lunch at school. He just throws them away and eats the chips and cookie. When our family plays Go Fish with our 5-year-old and one of us asks another player for a card, he snickers if he has the card. Every time. I have a 3-year-old and every morning she comes into my room and crawls in bed with me for another 30 minutes before we get up. She has started doing this new thing where when I fall back asleep she will kiss my cheek and tell me how much she loves me. It's a small thing but I love that she does this even though she thinks I'm asleep. There are a lot of hard things about being a parent and having to wake up early with a toddler, but her sweet little voice telling me, "I love you so much mommy," makes it all worth it. Also, sometimes she will bring me a stuffed animal to cuddle with too. I don't have a kid, but when I was growing up my dad's house had a hole in the hallway wall that was well above our heads, but we could still reach it enough to throw stuff in it. So that's where we hid candy wrappers, bad school papers, etc. He never said anything to us about our secret hiding spot, so we always assumed our secrets were dropping under the house and were gone forever. He eventually went to patch it up, and before he did, he said, "I want to show you guys something," and lifted us up to peer into our hole of sin while laughing hysterically. It wasn't even a foot deep. There was a crossbeam right under it that we couldn't see, so everything we were tossing in was extremely visible from adult height. My son's a bit older now, but when he was 11 I found out he was watching breastfeeding videos and veal shaving videos on YouTube. Apparently these videos are science, so the nudity is allowed. Slick lil dude found a loophole. Didn't confront him about it, but it did make me have the talk with him. Had me cracking up, but the wife wasn't as tickled as I was. Lol. Edit. Just realized this was directed to moms of Reddit. Sorry, it's Monday. I know that he's watching YouTube videos about Minecraft on his phone when he's supposed to be sleeping. I make a bit of noise in the hallway an hour after bedtime and listen for the sound of him putting his phone away. Then 10 minutes later there's undeniable sounds of sleep breathing. I don't wanna always catch him. He needs to be able to get away with some things. Dad here. My 3-year daughter sneaks part of any candy she can and hides it under her pillow for bedtime so she can snack on it if she wakes up at night. It was adorable until it was foil wrapped chocolates around Christmas and they melted for us to find a couple mornings later. Whenever our son, 5 years old, isn't allowed to touch something, we firmly say no. He usually tests us out a bit by very slowly moving his hand towards said item while looking at our face and waiting for the exact moment we say no. This is how he tests us, and incredibly funny and kind of tough to keep a straight face. He now figured out a way to circumvent the system. He looks the other way while slowly moving his hand towards said item. Surely if he can't see us, we can't see him, right? Well, we are onto him. Edit. No, he is not a cat. We have a cat and trust me, that cat is a lot smarter. I set alarms for the morning on the Amazon Echo. When I leave the room my daughter cancels them and I hear her snicker, "No school tomorrow, haha." What she doesn't realize is I also have an alarm clock and my phone. She's 5. Edit. Previous words didn't clarify it was my kid. Sorry for the confusion. I know his hiding spot for hide and seek. I know exactly where he is. Hell, I can see him. Behind the stroller isn't the greatest cover. I can hear him too, as he answers my exaggerated "Are you behind the couch?" with no, but I'll still look for him everywhere until he creeps out and shouts boo, so I can gasp and be ever so surprised, because toddlers can be fun if you play along. Edit. RIP my inbox. I can't reply to everyone but keep the cute hide and seek stories coming. You're all amazing. Christ, we have one of those fridge cameras. I was at the grocery store and I checked the cam as I often do. There was my son closing his ding dong in the fridge repeatedly. I must have been pretty horrified as I couldn't help but watch him just to try and figure out what he was doing. Is this some new age masturbation technique? I just explained to the wife why the boys' socks are so crusty. She doesn't believe me. Please Reddit, tell her. The one my dad hit me with once I graduated was, we know you weren't at K's for a movie and sleepover. I asked him how he knew. What movie theater do you go to where they dump vodka on you? When I was in 6th or 7th grade I pulled a muscle from beating the meat too much. Had to go to the doctor and I thought I got away with it by telling the doctor I fell. Fast forward a few years and I was telling this story to a friend. Only then did I realize my parents knew exactly what it was and they joked about it for years and I didn't catch on. Also, it happened on a laptop the school provided, so that week I had to take it to the IT guy for a Trojan virus. When I got the computer back I saw that I didn't clear the history too. Not only did my parents know but I'm sure my teachers knew too. Important background. I forgot to mention mom knew for sure because she was the office secretary at my middle school at the time. Edit. Thank you for the silver kind stranger. D. My pain is your pleasure. I'm not a parent but I started smoking weed when I was 13. Then at a family gathering when I was about 21 the subject of weed came up somehow. In the middle of the conversation my mom turns to me saying, ask him, I'm sure he knows all about it. He's been smoking it since he was 13 inches. I had never been caught smoking or having it. She just knew. When I asked how she knew she just said, do you think I'm stupid? When I was like 13 I used to take really long showers. Heard my parents talking about how it's cozy as jerking off and there. They were right. My second son, despite being brilliant, is a hoarder and has hygiene issues and I have serious concerns about his mental and physical health status. He thinks I don't see him hiding his dirty clothes, not wiping or flushing. I don't actually see that, but when you emerge from a bathroom flush less and wipe less. I understand more than you think. I do. And this is among a few other serious problems. I don't know what else to do to help him figure out how to human appropriately. He's already on meds and counseling. But he thinks he's smarter than God and so doesn't listen to anyone. I'm seriously concerned he is going to end up engulfed by drugs, alcohol, and other substance abusive behaviors and it will ruin him. But yet I see and smell and notice all the things you think you're doing so sneakily. When learning a new word, our 18-month-old runs into the kitchen, away from us so we can't see him, and practices sounding out the word, thinking that we can't hear him. Then he comes back into the family room to deliver the final product. When I was a kid I used to hide a book under my pillow. I can't remember exactly the brand but I think it was the Magic Tree House books. And I had these fish lights that I hung over my headboard and at night I'd always tell my mom to leave the lights on because I was scared of the dark. I'd stay up for hours reading those books. Then one time my book was on my nightstand rather than under my pillow where I always kept it. That's when I knew she knew my tricks. P. My stepdaughter, an adult now, used to lie all the time to look cool. We never said anything about it, but I hated the silly lying. Sometimes she lied about more important stuff too. Not a mom but an aunt. My niece, 4, is obsessed with rocks. She had an extensive rock collection that my brother and I helped build. When her little sister, 2, swallowed a rock from it her parents made her throw out the entire collection. She threw it out and when they weren't looking she got it back out. She keeps it hidden in her closet and I only know about it because I found her playing with it once while babysitting. Whenever my barely 4-year-old makes a mess, like spills her juice, she blames my 8-year-old, even if she's not here. Like daddy, it was Sophie. She came home and spilled it then she left again, and acts shocked lol. This thread terrifies me to think about the things I tried hiding from my parents that they probably knew about. Those tissues. You ain't got no cold, son. Whenever my 5-year-old daughter is making me a surprise, 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a cutout heart with ILVOEU mama written in it. If I guess what it is before she delivers it, she gets pissed. 1 stroke 10 times it's a drawing of poop with ILVOE poop written under it. Because we like bathroom humor in my house. 3-year-old thinks we don't know when she's pooping. She has a habit of going under the dining table while we're eating, squatting and making grunting noises. She then insists on total privacy so she can whisper loudly in my ear that she has pooped. Total secret from everyone. My 10-year-old daughter doesn't think I know she has a crush on Will, a boy in her class and a family friend. Mama knows all. He, 10, says curse words when he's with his friends. My parents probably know I masturbate even though I do it in private. My little brother used to eat candy when he wasn't supposed to when he was little. So to hide the evidence he would shove the wrappers in his ear instead of the trash so my parents wouldn't see them. They would see them sticking out of his ear and would have to pull them out with tweezers. Once there were 4-5 wrappers in both ears. Edit. I can't believe my highest rated comment is about my brother being such a dumbass. My co-worker found out her 12-year-old son was looking at porn on the family computer when his friends were over. She made her husband go talk to him about it. Dad walked into his bedroom, sat down on his bed, and said only, "Your mother knows." Kid just quietly muttered, "Oh my god." Double quote. Never had a problem again. Co-worker was dying BC, he was just typing stuff like boobs.com and hoping to strike gold. Kinda sweet. My 16 years old son watches cam porn. If you are sitting in bed, laptop on your lap, think about how the screen might reflect off the picture behind you. Jeez. At least close the tab when I come in the room. Not a parent, but something my mom knew I lied about, but let me believe she didn't know was that one time I had 2 F's on my report card in middle school and I was making excuses as to why I didn't bring it home for a week. She told me to bring it home or else. When I went to homeroom at the end of the next day I jumped on a computer and forged a fake report card with a C average appearance. Little did I know my mom had gone to the school to get my report card that same day, and when I got home she asked for my report card. I gladly laid out the fake and she said, "Oh, that's not too bad, but I have your real report card right here," and she pulled out the real one. Got grounded for the rest of the school year for that one. When I was little, my sister and I used to occasionally get in pretty big fights. Punches left bruises, and we'd get in trouble if there was evidence. She was really pissing me off one day, so I got the brilliant idea to bite myself and blame it on her. One problem with that, there's more than 5 years between us. Bit of a difference between a 5-year-old's teeth marks and a 10-year-old's. I was astounded when my mother somehow knew that my sister wasn't to blame. She never revealed her secret. Got her, though. We started biting each other by sinking our teeth into the top of each other's skulls. All the satisfaction. No marks. I probably don't qualify for this question yet, but my daughter, 9 months, probably thinks I don't see her trying to eat things off the floor. Maybe she does. She probably does. I say Ponio, nickname, and she jumps and tries to crawl away with the object. I thought I was doing really well hiding my disorder eating habits, but my mum eventually confronted me about it. Not a mom, but we know why you're in the bathroom for 45 minutes twice a day. I'm a kid, but whenever I get up to have a midnight snack, no matter how quiet I am, my mom magically wakes up and asked if I'm okay. Like how? I made literally no noise. Moms know what that crusty stuff is on your socks, towels, etc. That my 13-year-old daughter writes city manga type 6 stories. I don't even really care about the 6 stuff. I know kids explore or whatever, but the writing itself is so bad. Like the grammar, sentence structure, spelling. It's a hot mess. Also, sometime later I brought up talking about how 6 foreplay relationships and all that BC once again. The stories are just terrible. It was only one journal book I had found, and I haven't looked at anything again. I picked the composition book up thinking some missing schoolwork was in there. I wasn't snooping. It wasn't her schoolwork. But I think she needs to focus more in English. BC, the writing was crying inducing. reading these to see if I could hide things better. My teenage daughter has an electric toothbrush in her underwear drawer I'm pretty sure she masturbates with. My 6-year-old has a secret doodle pad that he draws in at bedtime. I can hear his lamp click on when he sneaks drawing time in. He will never get in trouble for it. Edit, thank you for the silver. Mysterious stranger. My daughter is vegan. Almost entirely. She also has struggled with an eating disorder. We're in counseling and she's okay right now, but sometimes she eats non-vegan food items. We don't talk about it. I don't call her out. The way I see it, she's doing her best and none of us is perfect. Especially me. My husband and I are meat eaters. I cringe every single time someone tells us we should make her eat what we're eating. Or she's living under your roof. Or when I was a kid, we had to eat what we were given. I have no clue what we've been through in her 18 years. How she starved herself so much at one point she was passing out. How she lost her cycle for months. Like, butt out people. I've also struggled with addiction and believe that in this mess, we've taught her that she has a choice what she puts in her body. I think that's a very valuable lesson for a teen to learn. This post seems to indicate my parents know where I jack off, when I jack off, how I jack off and to what I jack off. Still gonna carry on with the same it tomorrow cause they haven't called me out and I don't want to get caught with the D in my hand by changing it unexpectedly. When my son and I play peekaboo I can still see the top of his head when he ducks behind the ottoman. That after I put them to bed they still watch their iPads for a while. They're only 5 and 7 now and don't realize that they aren't going to get away with it considering what I was like as a teenager. But I'll always let them think that they are. My teenage daughter doesn't know that I know she Snapchats with the boy she says she can't stand and saves everything he sends her. My mother told me that she knew I smoked pot. She said, non-pot smokers usually don't light incense every night and come home to eat half of the food in the refrigerator. But she said that since my grades were fine and I was keeping up on all of my extracurricular activities, she didn't see a problem. I know my son's Reddit username. My 7-year-old thinks that she is too old to be tucked into bed or cuddled but she still wants to be. So she tells me that she is cold and needs me to warm her up. We live in South Louisiana lol. I'll take any excuse to cuddle her. I used to whisper to her after she had fallen asleep, thank you for being my baby. Then I'd get up and go about my business. She was not asleep and whispered back, "I your big girl." That was that for the tucking in. Now she's too big because she's not my baby anymore. My 3-year-old daughter likes to hide things. When we ask her if she knows where it is, she says I don't know, even if we can clearly see where she hid the item. Not a mom but mom awareness related. When I was in HS I would jerk off before bed but sometimes I would be really tired and it would be hard to focus on the chosen scenario. Yeah, porn free meat beating all from the imagination. So I would stand up. We lived in a post and beam with squeaky floor and one particularly squeaky night I heard an exclamation of annoyance and stomping feet from the room below mine. My mom had been working and was tired of the squeaks my nighttime activities were producing. She ran up and scolded me. "What are you dancing?" Really hope she thought I was dancing. When my eldest was learning to use the bathroom all by himself, no matter where I was in the house, I'd yell wipe, flush, wash hands. When he emerged, he got so annoyed in the end. He could not understand how I always knew. He doesn't forget now. Not the parent, but the son. Growing up, my twin brother and I shared a bedroom. One day, our mom gets drunk and decided to come up to our room to say goodnight. She takes this opportunity to tell my brother to stop jerking off onto his sheets. It was me. They were my sheets. She thought it was him. My 19-month-old nephew, I know when he hides in the corner, it's because he's pooping. He's still in diapers. My 15-month-old daughter, I know when she snores she's just pretending to be asleep. It's a test to see if I'm leaving right away. So if she's snoring I always stay put until she stops because then even if she's not asleep yet she's calm and relaxed and it doesn't upset her when I leave. Both, I know they honk their noses when they're playing together because I'm always watching to make the honking sound. I'm the son, went to Catholic school K-12. We could get detentions for things like untucked shirt tails, talking during mass, or when at the age having a 5 o'clock shadow. We didn't have buses, so my mom would take me to school. Every time I got to detention I just told her I needed to be at school early. Our parents didn't have to sign the paper. Well, turns out they called and emailed our parents about it. I basically lied to my mom's face every time and she never said anything until I smugly brought it up one day in college. Very rude thinking back on it, and she basically put me in my place and told me she knew every time. When I was a kid, I used to watch surgery videos a lot. I wanted to see how breast implants were done, but I didn't want to feel like I was watching porn. So I watched a video of the operation on a man. A few days later my dad said to clean my room or he'll tell my mom what I looked up on the computer. Then I realized I would never be able to explain myself. Not a Mamba Day. When I turned 18, my best friend and I decided to get tattoos together without telling our parents. Originally the plan was to get matching music notes on our ankle. Then I started thinking, oh duck, what if my mom found out? So I thought I would be better if I got a more mom-friendly tattoo in a place she couldn't possibly find. A cross on my hip bone. My mom passed away when I was 21, and as I was talking with her best friend some time after I said I regret never telling my mom about the tattoo I got, her reply, she knew the entire time and called me immediately to laugh about it. I actually know it's my 3.5-year-old son and not Kilo Ren in front of me. I also know that we aren't really playing in lava. Not a mom, but as a young man I would do the nightly self-care ritual in my bedroom late at night. People are sleeping so they can't hear me. I slept on the other side of a decent sized house and thought I was in the clear. So I also inherited my grandmother's large frame bed, and it is made of some nice sturdy wood. My mother politely asked me to maybe not use my bed for manly activities, as she put it, because it was waking them up every night. Not a parent, but as a kid I used to do sit-ups on my bed every night. I had a very creaky bed. That and the out of breath panting from my exercising could definitely have been mistaken for polishing the banister. I'm afraid my parents thought I was vigorously masturbating every night. Mom, dad. The only thing getting hard were my abs. My parents don't know that I can hear them having sex from my room. It's not something I want to hear. That my teenage son has an empty box of condoms under his bed. Yes. We've had the talk, but empty.